Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is Usman Akhtar, and from today I'm going to start a series of videos about the different topics of medicine. Today's topic is anemia from hematology. So let's start the topic. Anemia. So anemia is defined as a reduction of red cell mass or decreased level of hemoglobin from its normal level. As a general concept, anemia depend on these two particles, which is cell mass and hemoglobin. These cell mass, which is also called hematocrit. Hematocrit we use generally for the clinical purposes. When the hemoglobin is decreased, which shows the RBC cell mass is decreased, but if the hematocrit is increased, which suggests the polycythemia. So if the hemoglobin level we can find, so from that we can find the hematocrit level. Hematocrit we can obtain from multiplying the hemoglobin level with multiplied by 3. So for the general concept of anemia, these two things are very important, like cell mass and hemoglobin. So any of this cell mass or hemoglobin, if they decrease from the normal level, we will call anemia. Now we just look at the WHO cutoff values. The children is different, the adult is different, and especially the female adult, it is different for a pregnant lady and it is different for non-pregnant lady. The level of the HB hemoglobin is different from lab to lab. It depends on what chemical they are using. So according to the lab, they given the values. From that you can check out the level of the hemoglobin. But as a general, from 12 to 16 or 12 to 15, it is a normal cutoff value of WHO for the hemoglobin. Now let's jump into the clinical features. The clinical features for any disease is very important to remember for the exam point of view or as a journal for the clinical practice. Now, first of all, in anemia, paler color of skin, it is very important to remember, which is used in the clinical picture for skin and conjunctiva. The conjunctiva, we have two particles in the conjunctiva, two parts. First is palpebral conjunctiva and second is bulbar conjunctiva. There is a very good use of this clinical method to find out the anemia. For that we will look about the palpebral conjunctiva. Palpebral conjunctiva is that conjunctiva which is lined with the inner surface of the lower eyelid. Another is bulbar conjunctiva, which is lying over the white part of the eyeball, which is called sclera. And for that, bulbar conjunctiva is important for jaundice, but the palpebral conjunctiva is very important for the finding of anemia. So paler color, either a skins or nail or conjunctiva, but for the clinical practice, the most important thing is conjunctiva, which is palpebral conjunctiva. Another is dyspnea on exertion. The main problem in anemia, like as we know from the fact that hemoglobin carries oxygen, so if either the hemoglobin level is decreased or cell mass of the red blood cell is decreased, the oxygen carrying capacity will be decreased. So whenever our body will use exertion, the decreased supply of oxygen will happen. So because of that, the dyspnea will happen to that patient. Another is important is fatigue and weakness. Fatigue and weakness is very early, very important symptoms of the anemia. It is the earliest features of the anemia. Another is palpitation. Palpitation is the heart rate which a patient can feel by its own. It's called palpitation, but palpitation can be physiological as well, but palpitation can be pathological as well. So it is another important feature of the anemia. Another very important feature is angina, especially in those patients which have already predisposed, or they have comorbid disease, or they have the other risk of the angina. Another very important point about angina is a symptom. It is not a disease or something. It is a symptoms. Angina is defined as it is the chest pain which can be feel on the chest because of the decreased supply of the decreased supply to the heart. So because in anemia there is decreased oxygen, so there will be decreased perfusion or decreased supply of the oxygen, which will lead to angina. Another is dizziness and blurring of vision or fainting. It is a CNS symptom because of reduced oxygen supply to the CNS. Another extremely important feature is koilonychia. It is a spoon-shaped nail. It's called koilonychia, and it is like a classically seen in iron deficiency anemia, which is a very important feature of the iron deficiency anemia. Another is cardiac failure. Now, let me add some more point about this. Cardiac failure is seen in big point about this. Cardiac failure is seen in because cardiac failure is seen in anemia because of the volume or load condition. Because there is reduced supply to the every organ because of the less oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. So there because to fulfill that demand of the oxygen, the body will produce more fluid, so body can reach the fluid can reach to every part of the body. So because of that, the volume overload will occur, and volume overload can lead to cardiac failure. Other conditions like thyrotoxicosis, like hyperthyroidism, which is also called hyperthyroidism, and Paget disease of bone, wet type of beriberi, and congestive cardiac failure is another important cause of the heart failure because of the volume overloaded condition. Never confuse the volume overload condition with pressure overload condition. That is a different things. If the anemia is because of the loss of blood, that can lead to oligouria or shock. Like if there is hemorrhage, and hemorrhage can cause acute loss of blood, which will lead to anemia, and because of that there will be oligouria, which is decrease passing of urine, and shock is decreased supply of oxygen to any organ. It's called shock. And blurring of vision, which is another symptom of the anemia. Another important topic in this anemia, which is classification. For classification, important is MCV, which is the mean corpuscular volume. Mean corpuscular volume depend on that we can classify the anemia into different types. Like if the MCV, mean corpuscular volume, is less than 80, then we can have certain types of anemia. I remember these types of anemia at mnemonic at cell. From anemia of chronic disease. This is an important condition to remember, that any chronic disease, whether it's inflammation or any other cause, but in any chronic condition, the liver start to produce hepcidin, and hepcidin is a main regulator of the iron metabolism. When there is increased production of the hepcidin inhibits the absorption of iron, which will lead to iron deficiency anemia. So it is one of the cause of the anemia where the MCV is reduced, and these anemias are also called hypochromic, microcytic hypochromic anemias. Another is important is thalassemia. Thalassemia is also classified in this group, where the globin chains, beta globin chains, are deficient congenitally. Another is sideroblastic anemia. Another is deficiency anemia and lead poisoning. Iron deficiency anemia is very important in the developing countries. Second type is where the MCV is equal from 80 to 100. But there is another very important concept to remember: the reticulocyte count. A reticulocyte is immature RBCs which come to the blood prematurely, and its size is larger than the normal RBC. The lifespan of reticulocyte is almost 1 day, and the uh, count of reticulocyte in normal blood is 1%. So, if there is the level of MCV is from 80 to 100 and the reticulocyte count is reduced, then we can have following conditions like myelofibrosis, fibrosis of the bone marrow, anemia of chronic disease. It is also included here. Another is chronic renal failure. It is very important concept. From the kidney, we have an important enzyme which is a hormone which is called erythropoietin. The erythropoietin is a main regulator, pain like stimulant for the production of RBC. So in chronic renal failure, there will be no release of erythropoietin, and there will be no erythropoiesis. Another is aplastic anemia. Aplastic anemia is the bone marrow fails to produce all lineage of the blood cells. So there will be thrombocytopenia, there will be anemia, and there will be neutropenia. Another is marrow failure. Now let's go to the reticulocyte count is increase. So these are all type of hemolytic anemias, where I used to remember these types of anemia through mnemonics, which is called "Sexy Girls Have Personal Assistant." So sickle cell anemia. It is a membrane deficiency, like membrane disease of the red blood cells, where RBC getting destroyed. G6PD deficiency, hereditary spherocytosis, paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, and another very important is autoimmune hemolytic anemias. Another is if the MCV count is more than 100. So it is very easy to remember that whenever there is folate or B12 deficiency, there will be increased MCV more than 100. So these two will lead to these diseases. Okay, when the MCV is less than 80, it is called microcytic hypochromic anemias. If the MCV is from 80 to if the MCV is from 80 to 100, it is called normocytic pneumochromic anemias. If the MCV count is more than 100, it is called macrocytic hypochromic anemia. These include B12 deficiency and folate deficiency. These are a very most important types. So in next video, I will explain one by one these types of anemias. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.